think this goes without saying, but if you don't know already, this is Alex Moisey.
Liam, a pleasure. It's been
How
a
are you,
while.
mate?
How you been?
Yeah,
it's been
fucking
a
great,
while,
mate.
and I think when was the first time we met? It's the first business I've ever jumped into.
That was, I mean, I think that was at a time where it was Astral Games, weren't it?
Yeah, Astral Games, the first business.
Mate,
Yeah.
and we used to sit in Ollie's.
It's the first time we started making money out of nothing, and I was like, "This is fucking brilliant."
I know. But when you started that business as well, it was like we would go and sit in Ollie's house. Ollie's done great as well with Show Media.
Ollie's done great. Yeah,
he's done really, really well. And I think this is one of the reasons I sort of wanted to put this podcast together, is because I'm interested in understanding how people go from the positions we've all been in to the position you're currently in now. So obviously you entered the market that you've entered, a couple of years ago? Wasn't it long? Was it?
It was like 3 years ago, August 2020. So I think if we're going to talk about that, let's go all the way back to the start.
Yeah, man.
And how someone could enter entrepreneurship to begin with. And I think I speak for everyone and yourself as well, that most of us had jobs in sales.
Yeah.
Because we didn't go fucking college. So we didn't do a trade. We didn't know how to bricklay. We didn't know how to plumb or be an electrician.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to do customer service because none of us have had customer service to deal with that. And the next option for us that didn't require any skills was sales, which is probably one of the best skills for anyone to have, really. So same as you, I think I've had every sales job you can think of.
Yeah.
And when I actually look back at it now, I didn't know it at the time, but when I look back at it now, the only reason I was doing sales is because, number one, I didn't know how to do anything else. And number two is because the uncapped commission sounded very attractive in the sense that, right, so I can earn more than my basic salary. So we already had the intuition that we could potentially be entrepreneurs, but we just didn't explore that further because we didn't have the right guidance. We didn't have, like, I don't know, myself, I didn't have that father to guide me to do that. He was a hard worker. He didn't know any better, and that's the reality. And I suppose some explore that themselves by remaining curious, and others just drown in the rat race.
I think we all start out in the rat race, and at a young age, like we're coming out of school and we're trying to integrate into the world, which is just like partying and drinking, which is where, like, I first came across you, because we were around the same sort of town. It's like we'd see each other out in town, and you see the same faces and doing the same things, and like that's sort of our graduation into becoming a person. And alongside that, you're moving into a career that you're trying to figure out where you belong in that world. And like you, sales was where it started for me. Every job that I've had has been a customer facing role where I've had to try and negotiate or discuss something and sort of move them around to a way of thinking around a certain thing. So it's sort of interesting that we've both had a relatively similar start to life.
No, absolutely. And I think most of us do anyways. But I suppose you've got two paths, right? And it's like, I think we've all picked the party path because it's great. It's like, yo, girls drinking, let's go crazy here, And I suppose it was fun whilst it lasted, but the years go by, and then you get to a point, and like myself, I've got 3 kids now, and I've got another one on the way. So,
wow,
what the fuck am I going to leave them? Like, my fucking reels on Instagram from a night out. Oh, look at your dad. He was having a great time, But dad, we got no home.
We need cars.
So I suppose it kind of, you grow up and you think like, right, I can do more. And I think that's only going to come when you find something that you actually love doing, And with business, I suppose, especially when it's your business and you enter this entrepreneurship world, you take on the stress because it's your stress at that point, and then you work a lot harder than you would in a job anyways, because it's for you. And with myself, for example, I've had probably like, yourself, probably like 5-6 businesses. I remember when I got into real estate, everyone was like, oh, fucking hell, he's doing another thing now and another thing. And I think this is exactly when I'm going to tell people, like, don't listen to what your friends say. Don't listen to what your family says. You got to remain curious, because if you don't stay curious, you're not going to find that what you love to do.
Yeah.
And if you listen to the comments that your peers or your friends or your acquaintances, people that I don't even speak to anymore myself now anyways, and I'm talking as close to as my father.
Yeah.
So if you listen to them and you let them embarrass you and you feel embarrassed by that and you don't act on actually doing something you would think you'd be great at, you're going to probably lose the opportunity of a lifetime, So to anyone listening out there, if you feel like you need to do something, don't be concerned about what your friends say or what your mum says or anyone. Just go and do it because it's for you, unless they can advise you. And even then, unless they're in a position you want to be and you shouldn't take the advice anyway.
I think where you're right with that, and that's something that I've really struggled with in my past, is where you've believed in yourself that I'm going to do it, I'm going to make it somehow. And I've written books, I've started businesses, I've had marketing agencies, I've tried everything because I've been curious enough to explore, but also I've had the courage enough to try. And even recently, when it's sort of like I've had some big failures in my life.
Yeah.
And I think it's part of the process, but those big failures have left me feeling not prepared enough to put myself out there again. And I feel I don't want to do it again. I don't want to embarrass myself again. But the positive impact that people like yourself have had on me, watching what you've done, I'm like, do you know what? He's done that thing where he's picked himself up, and then he's gone, right, I'm going to go for this one now. And to see that you've actually made it work, is what sort of helped me go. And this is why I wanted to get you on first. It was like, if I know you, if you've done this and we were sat in the same rooms having the same conversation, we respected each other, we wanted to work together, like, why can't I do this? Exactly. So I've had to dust myself off and get back up.
Exactly. And I think you've nailed it on the head. And I think the main question you need to ask yourself is what held you from going again, because I know that we all have the hunger, especially on the entrepreneur, you keep going. But a lot of the times the thing that pulls us back is the people around us.
100%.
The one thing that worked for me massively, and I think the best advice I could give someone, it's all good you doing it yourself, but there's no one in the history of fucking man or woman that has done it alone. They all have someone besides them, whether it's a woman that supports you and shares the same vision as you, or a brother that supports you and shares the same vision as you. Alone, some people make it, but only to a certain point, But for example, with myself, and I've got Zara next to me, and I know, like, I'm always chuffed to even know that even people like yourself, that that I'm kind of inspiring from afar. I'm still chuffed to that extent, but part of my success comes down to the people around me as well, and there's not many of them. It's just Zara at the moment. Like I said, my partner, the rest is my kids. So my spare time goes on these people, because they're the only ones that give a fuck about how I feel, where I'm going, and whether I'm going to die or not. No one else cares. When you go back to the times when you said when we were partying, and I think a lot of people, that majority of people that want to be successful are held back by the friends that they say they love. On a night out, you'll have a pint. Oh, fucking love you, brother. All of that. And the reality is they don't give a fuck about what's going on in your life, because
that halts people from where they need to be. Because, like, I've been in those environments, and when I stopped drinking, I stopped drinking a long time ago. When I stopped drinking, I realised that, like, the things that I was doing,
no one calls you out anymore. It's
no one rings.
Yeah, it's like, you're not drinking. Fuck that guy. I don't even need to speak to him.
And like at Christmas time, I'd see my friends, and, like, look, I understand what we're saying. Like, there's a difference between brotherhood and like friendship, and like, I've got brothers from when I was younger that I used to spend a lot of time with, and we would go out. But there's me that trying to pull away from not them, but from the environment. So it's not related to them as individuals, but I don't want to be in that environment anymore.
But you associate. But the problem is, and
we get sucked back in by the love for them.
You have to look at what it is, and most people avoid the fact that certain people you associate with that environment. And I'm a sucker for it as well. I had habits, same as everyone else. I've done cocaine, drugs, whatever, because because if you don't have that guidance and you hang around in that crowd, I was probably the one that was influencing people as well.
Yeah, it's normal.
So what I'm saying is that I know there's certain people from my past life, for example, that when I used to see them, the first thing that will come into mind is like, oh, fucking, let's go on and let's have a session.
We're going out.
Do you know what I mean? So it's actually the people. Forget the environment. It's the people that you're around with, because your mind associates, and your mind is so powerful that you can associate happiness with a habit, anger with a habit, stress with a habit, people with a habit, So your mind can, like an addiction, for example, you can associate everything. It can trigger anything, and you think like, oh, well, it's not me, but it's everything to do with you and everything else. You just have to put yourself out of the whole environment, away from all those people. And I think the best thing that I read, and I've posted it not long ago, is like, you can't. What is it? Let me read it because I
Yeah.
don't want to say it the
Don't
wrong
wanna
way.
get
You
it
know,
wrong.
when you try and say it like I'm smart, but no, like,
Yeah.
let me read it properly. That was it. Stop trying to create a new you in the same place around the same old people.
Mm.
You know, that the reality is the new you is going to be lonely. And
It is.
it's sad, but it is. It's like my biggest concern right now, and I'll be honest, if you're not concerned, like I'm looking around and I've worked with a lot of people now, and I go into business with a lot of people, and the business is very savage.
Yeah.
Um, where you think you build a relationship, and it's my fault, but I've learned from every single opportunity I had now that you get into business with people and you think, oh, it's a friendship, like they care and stuff. But the moment you don't benefit these guys anymore,
It's gone.
it's gone.
Done.
And like that's my like. I'm not saying everyone's like that because I'm different. I'm looking for someone like the Tate brothers to have a brother next to me. I'm
Yeah.
an only child. If there was two of me, fucking hell, I won't need anyone else. But there
Yeah.
isn't. So I'm always looking for someone to be like, you know what, I can protect my family, but who protects me? You know, and I feel like I've kind of had this like almost like an attachment behavior where I'm like, I'm trying to find someone like that's a good friend. But then I realized, you know what? My Zara, she's my good friend. She cares about me. It's me and
Yeah.
her against the world, you know.
Yeah.
And then he brings you back to that saying, like a great man has a great woman next to him, you know.
Yeah.
And that's very important. And the time when the woman shares your passion and she's willing to go broke with you to achieve that goal, that's who's got your back.
That's the ride and die element of it. Like I think a lot of men, particularly in the business world, like because our belief system is completely inherently different. In that, I don't want to go and sit in a 9 to 5. I've done it. I don't want to do it. I want to build something for myself. But that comes with a certain element of insecurity. That comes with a certain element of risk. And like I'm changing from this, I'm changing from that. It's going to come with financial hardships. It's going to come with mistakes. That's going to come with, 16-hour days. That's going to come with doing things differently to everybody else. And I believe that having the right woman beside you that goes, I trust your vision and I will go through the hard times and I'll go through the good times with you. But finding a brotherhood to do that with you is incredibly difficult. Now, I'm fortunate enough that I have got some friends around me now that are all business owners, that are all sober, that are building something. And when I call them, they'll give me honest critique, but they'll call me out on when I'm being a dickhead. Like if I was to call one of them and talk about one of the other mates, I'd be like, no, we don't do that. And the first time I ever heard that, I said something about someone. I was like, oh fuck, what they think.
Like,
Yeah.
bro,
Like,
don't
but
fucking do that.
but it was a flippant comment, right? But when somebody said to me, and I got a lot of respect from him, but it also shifted my reality when he said to me, "We don't do that." He said, "Like, I understand why you said it." But I said, "We don't we don't do that." And I was like, that's the first time I witnessed integrity.
It's because it's not okay. But in our crowds, it was okay to do that. And it's like you can't expect to know everything, Liam. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, our friends and our family is only going to judge us by our failures, you know, ultimately.
Yeah,
but
100%.
successful people, when they see something in someone and they see that they genuinely want to achieve something, they don't care about the failures because in most cases, most successful people, they had to fail massively to get this. All they can do is just tell you exactly what you've done wrong and what you need to do right. And my circle now, for example, extends outside of my business. You know, everyone does different things, and you've probably seen pictures of the people I hang around with. And we don't just hang around, oh, let's meet up for a beer. There's like a certain event that we'll all meet up like once a month, once here, one day. We'll catch up, we have a good laugh, but we're there for each other. But outside of that, my partner is Zara, is like the one that she's my friend, she's this. And you know what? You realize that you don't need anything else. I've got my kids at the weekends. I'm like, boom, the kids are fine. They're growing. I look after them. I want to make sure that my son wants to grow up and be like, I want to be like my dad. Yeah. My daughter is going to find the next boyfriend and she's going to be like, she's going to have to compare him to me, you know? So I think that's my next goal now. Of course, financial freedom and stuff, which is more than enough. And I'm very grateful for it now, especially with the new house that I've got and everything. And yes, I want more. And I think that's probably one of the negatives of being successful is because you want more. You know, you want more. The goals get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. No. I think the major negative of being successful, of trying to be successful anyways, is not having big enough goals, is allowing people to laugh when you say something that's outside of their belief system.
Yeah.
You know? Like I say to people, I want a fucking private jet. They're like,
Yeah, all right. Well,
watch me fucking fly through your house when I fucking get it, you know. You watch me fucking, but
just doing
like,
laps
it's
outside
like,
their house.
it's like, do you know what I mean? And then it gets to the point, and again, I put a post the other day. It's like, you know, you get people that people that inspire. Like, for example, like myself, and I don't want to blow my trumpet, but like, I get people that say to me like, "Oh, you inspired me," and I'm like, I'm chuffed because I'm like, I don't mean to. Like, I'm just being myself, you know. And I finally found, I think the reason I'm so successful in this industry is because I finally found something that I genuinely love spending time to do, you know, and I don't find that stressful work. And because I'm allowed to be myself, like my genuine self, that just shows other people that, you know what, this guy's genuinely fucking happy what he's doing. He's come from nothing, and he's built something. So maybe that is inspiring, you know.
It is inspiring, but can I ask a question?
Go for it.
Because I've struggled with this, and I think a lot of people do. Is this understanding on how to actually stand in who you are? Because I've known you for a number of years, and the essence of you has never changed, right? But then there was a time where you just shifted into the man you are now. Like, was there a moment where you were like, do you know what, fuck it, I'm going for it? Like, because we talk about all of this is part of what I wanted to do these discussions for. Like, is there a part, is there a time where you went like, you were fucked, you've struggled again, you decided to stop this business and start the next? And like, when is it that you've had those moments? Because this is what I think
well, that's giving me goosebumps, because I know the exact moment.
Go for it.
And I know exactly how you transform back in yourself. And it's like,
what was the lead up to that moment, and like the experience, and then what happened in that moment?
Life is funny, man. You get born, you don't know anything, you don't remember anything, you don't know, you just turn up, right? Like, fucking, what's going on? Who is everyone? What are you all doing here, you know? Then you have all this trauma through childhood that you're not even aware of, you know, things that happen, but your conscious mind keeps them. And then you go through your next stage, you go into little like childhood, then adulthood, and whatever. And then you lose yourself through adulthood. If you don't have guidance, you lose yourself. Then you start picking up information from people. So you don't know who you are anymore, because you have to adapt as an individual. You have to adapt to impress your peers and impress girls and fuck knows who else that literally has no relevance to your life, you know? So you become someone you're not. And then the abuse of alcohol and drugs completely lose whoever the fuck you are. Like, you completely lose yourself. And then you don't know who you are anymore. You don't know what you want. You're concerned. Everything's a problem. Then after that, another phase comes where you kind of find out who you are and what you want, and you go for it. Then I feel like you have to go through another phase where you go to your lowest, right? And I think my phase when I went to my lowest was the food plug. When I was working in the kitchen and the lockdown happened, and I was working 7 days a week. I fucking hated work. Remember that. And I've been put in a place to work 7 days a week, 15-hour days, wake up at 6 a.m., leave there at 12, 1 a.m., and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And
you built that prison for yourself.
And I put myself in there. Then I remember I've lost so much weight. I was like, I'm 95 kilograms now, you know, I'm fucking doing pull-ups, king of pull-ups here, you know. But I remember when I went down to like nearly like 73 kilograms. I wasn't eating. I wasn't drinking water. Like, I know people say depressed, but you can become depressed because you, like you said, perfect example. I've built my own prison and not spending time with family, friends, nothing. I completely isolated myself and I put myself in a place of despair. And I remember driving to the place and I was like, I just want to crash the fucking car into a wall. I think that's the only way that I don't have to go there. And that's what your mind thinks. That's what your mind starts doing. So desperately looking for a way out. And that was the shift I needed, because it's like you have to almost and not intentionally, but if you could do it, intentionally put yourself in probably the worst position in your life to hate everything, so that then when you come out of it, you're released and your true self can come out. And even then you're going to have a lot of work to do, you know, but I feel like the only way to kind of expose your true self is by going as low as you possibly can be, you know, no money, stress, debt, gambling, everything you fucking can. Go and do it all. Some people don't have to go there, but if you want to become your best version of yourself, go and put yourself in the worst position you've ever been in. whether it's unintentional or intentional. And I know it sounds scary because it fucking is, but you're never going to be free if you don't know how bad it can be.
Well, I love what you said there about, you know, you built this prison for yourself out of the same desire, the same person that you were, the same desire to build something and make a business. You effectively was like, right, I'm going to start this business and I'm going to make this a success. But before you knew it, you've built a prison for yourself that you have to go there and be there all day and put the time in, the effort and the energy to build the business. And then you realize, like, oh yeah, this is not how to do it, but now how do I break free from that? And like, if I was to draw an example from that, like I hit a pretty bad depression the back end of last year. Like, no matter what job I've ever had, I've always wanted a bit more. I've always wanted to be free, and I've always wanted to develop something. And you know, I got to a point where, like, I don't know whether you'd seen, but I had fucking the car, I had the income, I had the home, I had the missus, I had the kids, I had everything, right? And a couple of bad decisions, based out of my ego, right? Because
last year we made it out.
Well, it was like I made a bad decision in my relationship. I made a bad decision in my career, and then I got it. All of a sudden, it all came down on a head at the same time. So in February, right? I just moved out of my home with the kids. So I've moved out of there, and then lost my job. I lost my income. I lost my car. I lost everything. Yeah, and then I started to go on a bit of it. Like, it was like, right, so I was like, brilliant. The universe has stripped me of everything. Yeah, let's start again. Yeah, 3 months. I had legals. I had fucking non-competes. I had letters coming out of me. Like, I was panicking. I could work. I couldn't work. I couldn't start my business. The guy that I'd gone into business with initially, and this is what really stood with me. I taught him everything he knew about my business. Yeah, he was covering the marketing side of it. He decided to go against me. Yeah, because of the legals. He was like, oh, I don't want to work with you. And he's carried on doing what I taught him. Yeah. Now, so I got left with nothing, and I've had to build a business from scratch. Right. And, you know, the difficulty that I've experienced over this year has been that moment where I've had to flourish. And the difficulty I found is people have watched me, and I've heard the discussions going on around me of people saying, Liam's this, Liam's that, Liam's trying this, Liam, like, who does he think he is? It's like, no, Liam's trying to rebuild himself from zero, regardless of what you think happened. Like, it's just irrelevant. I'm trying to rebuild myself as the person I want to be. And while you're in that process, everyone's like trying to hold you to the old version of you. Or you're this. You did this then. Okay, yes, I did that, but I'm sorry, and I won't do that again because I'm learning.
You don't even need to apologize. I think what everyone forgets is that.
Sorry, I've got to rant.
But it is frustrating, you know, because I hear those comments. I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm off. Like, I'm off. You're still there. So I think it comes down to the only people that are going to talk are the people that think they know you. Do you get what I mean? But no one truly knows who you are because you didn't know who you are until this point. Because, like I said, the only true form comes out when there's nothing left. You know, that's when your true form comes out. And it's like you have to go under pressure. You know, that's saying about like diamonds go through pressure and stuff. And that is the true saying. It's a saying for a reason. And the best people, like, what's that? There was a saying that Joe Rogan said, and he's like, hard times create weak people. Weak people create hard times. Then something about then
good times.
The good times create strong people. No, good times create weak people.
Yeah,
weak people create strong people. That's Well, you do that. That's it anyway. So I suppose you have to go through a shift for yourself. And I think even when I came out of the food plug and I got into real estate, I was so free, you know. But unfortunately, I was still like clouded with the habits and that. And but the best thing about it was that I was allowed to be myself, and I was like, cool, I'm just gonna be myself. I'm just gonna take this by the horns. And I remember the first day when I started real estate, and not the first day, it was like a month in, and I had my first meeting. Like, I see I'm full of rings, earrings, I don't give a fuck, tattoos, hair. This is who I am.
Yeah.
And the old guy, I'm not gonna say his name unless it pays me for marketing. He called me and he's like, oh, you need to take the rings off and the earrings before you go into the meeting. I was like, listen, I'm going to go into this meeting like this. I was like, if you have a problem with that, I'll just go somewhere else. There's no problem. And he was like, do you know what? Do what you want. And to this day, here I am. You know, I turn up in meetings in tracksuits and stuff because I've understood one thing. I've understood about business, about sales, is that no one gives a damn how you dress. Yes, it is impressive. I do like looking good. It's nice to look good, but when you build strong relationships with people before you even have the meeting, they don't care what you come up like because they've built a relationship with.
If you've built a relationship with that person, like the thing is if people know you for who you are and you've got that element of like, I'm happy to be myself. If I'm going to a meeting and I'm wearing a tracksuit and they're there and they know, like, that doesn't matter what I turn up in because I've built that credibility.
Yeah.
Like, I think where we have to become, like, because look, I'm covered in tattoos myself and I deal with business owners and, you know, I'm helping source funding and capital for businesses, yeah, like £500,000 quid, 200.
Because that was always the glasses on when you take them
off.
No. Put them back on. Yeah, I'll do it. You know, where do I sign?
But you know, if my capacity of my ability to understand how I can help a business is drawn down to by what I look like obviously there's natural attributes to, like, if you're charming and you're you know, you're attractive and you look after yourself and you go to the gym and you train and you have a physical appearance to you, you're going to have a better credibility than someone that turns up that's got their belly hanging out the suit, that hasn't done their hair.
I like, even with that, I think it comes down to our energy as a person and how we feel, you know, because it's like you can radiate something to someone.
Yeah.
Even if you're wearing a tracksuit, you can radiate someone. I can walk into a room and I know it's my room.
Yeah.
People will look at me, but maybe because the way I look, but maybe because the energy I carry with me. And you can send the top agent or whatever agency you want to send, and you can put them against me in a room, and I'll get the meeting before them, you know, because of who I am. I can be in a tracksuit and I'll still speak to that owner better because I know how to build a relationship. And I think going back into business, into any type of business, listen, I work with high net worth individuals, millionaires, billionaires, celebrities, footballers, and some of them maybe don't know the sales tactics, you know, but they are very financially, like a lot further financially than me or you. So they know the sales tactics. They've been through it. They probably had to do it themselves. So if you try and use this kind of tactic on one of them, they're going to eat you straight away. So the reason my brand blew like this is because I was able to be myself. And I guess these people are looking for people. They're sick of employees. They have employees around them all the time. They're sick of telling people what to do. I think they got to a point now where they want someone to tell them what to do, in the sense like, this is what needs to be done. They want to fucking sit at home, resting, knowing that the most prized asset, like their property, is in good hands.
Yeah.
You know? They don't want to sit there and be like, fucking hell, he hasn't given me an update yet. They know, do you know what? The property's with Alex. He'll call me when he needs to give me an update. It's a different conversation. I think in every aspect of business, this is what people put their faith in, is someone that they can put their faith in and be like, I got faith in the guy. I can go on holiday. We'll come back and we'll get an update then. I don't need to get worried. And it's very important to have that credibility, and that only comes through experience, I suppose, but also by being genuine.
It's delivery, like for me, like, and this is why my business exists, right? So similar to your business, right? There's thousands of people in the market. So there's thousands of finance brokers, there's thousands of estate agents, right? And when it comes to commercial finance, you can call a brokerage, you can inquire with a brokerage, yeah? Not only have you got to get through to somebody that has the competency, not only to understand what your business does and is, but explain that to a lender where they're going to want to give you £250,000, which is it's not the same as like just applying for a credit card or anything like that. It's a very complex situation. So my business is not about me doing that deal. My business is about understanding where your business wants to go, and I'll place you with the exact right individual that will close that deal for you. So you know that, rest assured, that you've just spoken to me. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to help you understand what we can do or what can be done. And I'll say, right, do you know, I know the exact right guy. The same as in any company. There's like a brokerage I work for, one of the best in the country, biggest. There's 20 members of staff, right? And the top 3 were the same 3 or 4 every month. And I mean, like 5 to 10 times more commissions than everyone else. Yeah. So arguably they are the most competent, not because they are special in their own rights, but the competency of those individuals, like, you can't guarantee that you're going to get that person on the phone when you call that brokerage.
No, of course, yeah.
Because you're calling them. And because the brokerage has to be fair, they'll just hand the lead out here, there and everywhere until it gets back to them. They naturally want to give them the leads because you want to give it to your best player. But you've got to cross the ball into everyone.
Yeah.
So for me,
I get that part of a business, but at the same time, I believe that people need to earn a lead,
yeah,
before they even get a lead.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not about being fair anymore. Life ain't fucking fair if you
and
didn't realize.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So
it
I
ain't, mate.
do understand that concept. But for example, my agent, I'm not just going to give a fucking lead to someone that just sat at home, but then I've got another agent that is doing everything they possibly can
Yeah.
to get business, and they get business. He's going to get the fucking lead.
Yeah.
The other one sits at home, and I'm not just going to sit there and be like, oh, you're right, do you want to eat? No, mate. Gotta go hunting, like,
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Some people get a bonus, it is what it is. But I think going back into the business that you do and everything else like that is the problem we have. There's a myth around services, where whether it's real estate, whether it's mortgage, whether it's solicitors, there's a few competent, but then the problem is the fact that the myth is that everyone else is the same in that type of service,
Yeah.
because people are being stung so many times, people are just kind of fed up because they probably heard the same story. So it doesn't matter
100%.
how much you give. So the best way to fight that back with is, thankfully, with social media.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, you need to be on social media. You need to be posting about the good times, about the bad times. You need to post horror stories, and you need to build your personal brand, and you need to start getting people to like you for who you are, completely doing the complete opposite of what everyone else is doing. Because if you look at the real estate industry, every agent does the same shit. In most cases, flagships won't even allow the agents to build a personal brand, because why do they want someone to be known? Everyone from Savills or Knight Frank, they know my name. I don't know one guy's name that works at these companies. Not one.
Yeah.
But I'll put it on Instagram the other day how many people from these companies search up my name. I blocked every company in real estate on my Instagram's blocked. Savills, fucking whoever they are, blocked them. Because I don't care what they do. I don't care about my competition. I don't market like my competition. I don't sell properties like my competition. I couldn't give a fuck what they do. I don't care. I don't care. I want to learn marketing. I look at Logan Paul or Jake Paul. Them guys know how to market. Look at what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? Learn from them.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to sell property? Fuck. I look at top agents in the world. I'm like, fuck that guy as well. I'm better than him.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is where I suppose successful people have this. And I was reading about this. They have this thing in common. It's called the superiority complex. When you don't think you're better than him as a person, but you're better than him at the job.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at people that have been in the industry for 50 years, and I'm like, fuck that guy. I'm better. But not because I'm rude. It's because I'm like, there's nothing that I can do that this guy does better than me. He's old. He's nearly 60 years old. He's like, he's done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's had his time. The only thing he's got on me is the time he's been in the industry.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I first started this job, and you can go to the bottom of my page on Instagram and look at the first video I put. I said I'm the best in this fucking game. I didn't even know a clue about it. I didn't even sell a property. But I knew what I wanted because I've decided at that moment in time, I was like, right, this is what I'm going to be doing. I don't want, like, I'm over 30, I'm 35 now. I don't want to keep changing things now. So I found what I want, I found what I'm great at. I found something that inspires other people to do the same. There's a lot of opportunity for someone. And I want to own some real estate, and I want to know everything about it. And if I can help people in the process of it, great. And I want to leave an estate to my kids,
Yeah.
We ever played that fucking idea too? And you just sit there and you're like, I want an estate like that. I
Yeah.
want to leave something to my kids, like a bit of land. And do you get what I mean? It'll be nice.
I think it's important to understand, like I've got my own goals in life, and I know you've sort of moved yourself into a place where your goals are becoming a reality. Like, is that your R6?
Yeah.
Gangster.
Fucking beautiful house, isn't it?
Beautiful
house. Imagine from January to March, we were broke.
Really?
I didn't pay. I'll show you the letters I used to have. Same as you, I was getting letters left, right, saying, it's like, this is a good story actually before you go into it. So in January this year, I was already unhappy with a lot of things at the previous brokerage, lots of things. And I was like, you know what? I was speaking to Zara. I was like, we start ourselves. Zara was a top agent at JLL in Knightsbridge and Marsh and Parsons in Fulham. These are big agencies. And she was great at what she does, but she knew the corporate and the high street model. I knew the self-employed model. So we also knew what's good in them, but we also knew the flaws they have and the cracks. So it was like, we can patch these cracks. It's very easy to patch them, in fact. So let's just do that. And anyways, I was like, you know what? No, I'm loyal to this guy. Whatever. I'm just going to keep going. I've built a lot here. I had a team of 20 people. They were bringing in like £1 million of fees in a month. That's a lot of money, And if I left, all that will go. And I was like, you know what? It's probably just a tough time for him. He's just being a bit of a dick for no reason, that. Then the 5th of January came. I was literally in a meeting with a client, and I just signed a contract in Sutton Coldfield.
Yeah.
3.5 million, 2.5% plus marketing, like £1,000 or something. All right. So for anyone that doesn't understand, that's what's that? 48, 66,000 pounds of commission there, you know, just like that. And I come out and I read these messages from him, from my old boss, let's call him that, or partner, as he used to call himself to me, you know, but boss apparently. And it was like something, oh, if you do that again, you can go da-di-da-di-da. And I was like, on the 5th of January, I was already like in 2 months about it anyway. And my lid popped. I was like, do you know what, man? I was like, I'm sick of these threats. And I was like, I'm gone. And he was like, oh, you know, we can talk about it. But I was like, no. And my lid popped. Same day, Zara's pregnant. I'm like, come on, man. I was like, why are you doing it? I was like, I looked up. I was like, we're doing this again, are we? Yeah. I was like, we're doing this again. Yeah. I was like, you want to fuck with me? Because I was like, I'm not in the right mind. I'll go out and I'll buy something. I'll just carry on. I'll be on a 3-day bender. And I was like, right. But like, I'm a man. Men don't go back on their word. If you go back on your word, you're going to suffer. Yeah. You know, you're going to suffer the consequences. So I was like, I can't go back on my word. I've got to be stubborn. Go ahead with this. And we looked at each other. We had a bit of money left. And was like, bro, I looked at her, I was like, I ain't getting a job. And she was like, I ain't getting a job. I was like, let's start it. And I was like, Crest. I was like, let's start it. Let's go going. And funny enough, the same day, there was a van in front of me. But like, we already decided on the name of the business. And there was a van in front of me. And it was fucking Crest. And I was like, get the fuck out of it. I was like, what is the odds in that? So I was like, this is our sign. I was like, take how you want. You want to be spiritual, be spiritual. You don't want to be spiritual, whatever you want. It's up to you. I was like, for me, it works, you know? Mm-hmm. And we got to it. We spent all the last money we had on getting compliance, on getting Rightmove, on just getting everything set up to get it moving, you know. And all the money we had, I mean, like we couldn't pay any bills. Credit cards every day. I was sitting there, we was looking at each other. I was like, fuck. I was like, the only money we wanted is for us to eat and to make sure that my dog eats. Cleo, it was like a big 60-kilogram cane course. So I was like, she needs to eat. So she's like, God knows how much kilos of food, like 70, 80 pounds a week of food. And yeah, man, until March, we've been tested, like our relationship's been tested, you know, because at this point, I suppose for a pregnant woman, all she wants from a man is to protect her and provide.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? And all you can do as a man is feel like, fucking hell, I can't do this, you know, but that wasn't the case. The case was that we were both in this together, you know, we both made that decision and we both stuck together. And fuck me, if there's anyone that supported me the way she did, like if anyone had anyone around him to support me the way she did, you know, and just support the man, because that's what everyone wants from a woman. And when you do have that partnership with a woman, forget the guy, when you have that partnership with a woman, you are unstoppable, because nothing else matters, because she's giving you the extra energy and power you as a man need, you know. If there's man in man, you can go.
Well, it's another battle in the household you don't need. If you've already got a battle on, if you've got a war against the world to try and build something,
exactly.
You don't want to go home and have another, like, are we wrestling here and all? Like, I'm knackered for all this.
Remember, like a man and a man is like, it's two the same energies. You can go far, but a man and a woman, this is a balance of energies. You fucking shoot to the moon. It's a different type of energy, you know. And a woman, there's no way a man can't make you feel worse than a woman can. And a man can make you feel any better than a woman can. Remember that. So what that means is that if she wasn't happy, she could have destroyed me, made me feel about that big. Because I wasn't the man I was supposed to be. I wasn't there to provide what she needed at that moment in time, especially as pregnant and stuff. But instead, she was like, because I left. You need to remember, I had about 125 grand worth of sales with my old company, and I could see on Instagram being completed, and people were getting this commission, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Hold on a minute. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what, is this the right thing? But bro, there's a verse in the Bible. There's like, it doesn't matter what tomorrow brings, because God is always with you. I'm religious, I'm spiritual, and we just pushed through it. She supported me. She was there. She elevated me as a man. Like, I've done everything a man should do without having the money, because I believe we live in a world now where as a man, you need to have money, which is complete bullshit, because within that time, I've learned what it takes to be a man. You know, you can still provide. You don't need money to provide. You know, you can still go out there and cut wood. You can still fucking make food. You can still, like, I was growing fucking vegetables to eat. I'm not kidding you. Thankfully, we lived in Cambridgeshire. We had like a vegetable garden. We had potatoes. So I was like, fucking, we got potatoes with chips, mashed potato. We're good, you know. Look, we weren't dying of hunger, but what I'm saying is bills weren't being paid. Rent wasn't getting paid. We had rent. We just moved from London into Cambridgeshire. Rent wasn't getting paid. All the credit cards are like, you ain't paying. And it was like, fucking know what we're going to do. And I just sat there and I was like, I was like, fuck all of these, man. I was like, just fuck them all. I was like, I've got nothing to give you. I was like, what can I do? I rang every business and every company. I was like, bro, I can't pay you. I was like, what are you going to pay me? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I've got no job. I've got no money coming in from anywhere. My mum ain't giving me money. Her mum ain't giving her money. I was like, we ain't got money. I was like, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? We had enough to eat and just make sure that she obviously was pregnant and everything like that, which was very stressful. But then I suppose that made me more into a man, because we realized this is when you're together and you support each other, that's fine. That kind of annihilates and kills every other worry. You're alive, you love each other, you're happy there, you know? So you can do all you can. All we can do, bro, as humans is do our best, you know, of what we know. So I started cutting wood, I started training, like, and I just learned how to be a man, I suppose, even more than what I knew. In March, we've launched, and by May, end of May, we've moved into our first £1.5 million home. Like 22 million pounds worth of sales since March, since launch, our 2.5% commission, agreed and completed in 100% of the sales. So you see, you're always going to get tested, and most people break when the real test comes and they run back.
Yeah, shall I get a job? Shall I just go and do what's easy? Like, I could have done the same thing at the start of this year. It's like I had a choice. I had nowhere to live. I was staying on somebody's sofa. I got to move over so I got moved to Bedford. Stayed at my mate's flat. He was like, look, I'm with a girl. You can stay at my flat. And then 2 weeks later, they separated. So then he's come back. So then there's me and him.
You're looking for easy ways.
Yeah,
it's like, no, mate.
I'm really lucky. I found a flat over in Milton Keynes. I've been living there for a little while, but all of a sudden, it's all just gone tick, 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 tick. And then we've had, you know, a marketing agency that have said that they're going to promise us the world, and they all promise the world, and then, you know, they've cost us an arm and a leg, and you know, we're now in this transition where we've finally started to see it go tick, tick, tick. But in that 6-month period where I just wanted to quit, where like I've had moments where I didn't want to be here anymore, I've had moments where I thought like I'm going to give up. And for me, sitting here on this podcast talking about what I'm doing is me actually fulfilling the thing that I said that I was going to do, and that's becoming the person that I said that I was going to be. And like, you know, the next 12 months, 18 months, while this business builds and develops, it's going to be difficult, and it's going to be something that I know that I need to go through.
But do you think like it can work? Do you believe the business well? Yeah,
it's a tried and tested model.
Okay, just let it work.
It will.
And I think, like, I don't know, like, I'm a spiritual guy. Like I think Zara's very spiritual, and she's helped me kind of explore that a bit more. And I'm not talking about sat there fucking like wearing weird clothes and hugging trees. I'm talking about the sense of meditating, in the sense of spending time with myself, in the sense of when I go to sleep for 5-10 minutes before I go to sleep, I meditate. And I don't like. I think people misunderstand meditation. You're not supposed to then think about the problem. You're supposed to then just think about nothing. And your answers will come.
Exactly.
Right? Your answers will come. And as I've practiced this process, what I've understood is that what I'm building here is fucking immense. Like immense. But I've also understood that I could do it. Like, I feel like I'm not a patient guy. I'm very like, come on, get things going. I know what needs to be done. Let's get going. Why is that guy not giving me his £12 million property? I'm getting fucking angry. Why is that dickhead selling that property? Then what I've understood, I was like, bro, hold on a minute. I was like, these companies, they've been in business for like 30, 40 years. I've already done more than most of them in 3 years. We've only launched in March. We're fucking way ahead. I've already done more than what I've done in 2 years whilst I've done this. So I think most of us forget how to be grateful.
Yeah.
Most of us forgot to be grateful. And we all complain about everything that's going wrong because it's easier, because oh fucking this and that. Then I'm like, when I sit there and like I just spend time with myself, I'm like, okay. So I start with that. I'm like, look, that's fine. That's things that wouldn't happen. But what's going great in my life right now? Do you know what I mean? Then I feel like, what's happening great? What am I grateful for? Then the moment you start being thankful for those, even if it's nothing big, but it's there. Like, for example, you didn't have a place and you can just sit there and be like, fucking hell, at least I got somewhere to sleep. I got a flat now. So I'm grateful for that. Think about them. You're better now than you were 6 months ago. And all of a sudden you start feeling calm. You're like, fucking hell, it could be a lot worse. There's people out there that would fucking pay anything to be in the position you are.
Yeah, I think I kept telling myself, and like, I went through a bad depression at the back end of last year, but then I come out of that, right? And I'm involved in a men's mental health group, which I think is important. It's like a brotherhood of men trying to get better than themselves. And what I've got from this whole process is like, no matter what's happening in my outside world, that if I can manage how I feel in that moment and manage my emotions around it all and accept the position that I'm in, I get to choose how I move forward. And delivering against the person I want to be every day doesn't mean that I'm going to get results today. But if I continue to deliver against the person that I am and the person that I want to be, I will see the results. So it's like, I get to a point sometimes where I think it's so important that my intent with my business is to only provide the very best service for my clients. My clients are both sides of the fence, brokers and business owners.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to provide the very best connections for both people, so they both get the best thing that they need out of that situation.
Yeah.
And I've done my job correctly. And that's what I'm really excited about, because I know that there's a problem over this side, there's a problem over this side. Everyone's selling all the time. They're like, as a business owner, you'll know this.
Yeah.
The language, it's always being sold to. You're a business owner. You're a business owner. You're a business owner. You're a business owner. It's like, yes, I'm a business owner. I know I don't want what you want right now, but if you're good at what you do and you keep telling me what you do, one day I'm going to go, yeah, this geezer, I'll go speak to him because I've watched him. I trust him.
It takes time. And I think the one thing you probably need to take out of this yourself as well is like how shit the start of the year was, and how far you've come since then. And
100%.
you just got like, I've got this exercise. And one thing that was lacking massively is discipline. And I think most of us do in a lot of cases, because you tended to live how you wanted on your own terms for a long time, doing this, drinking that, sniffing this, eating that, smoking that. So you're like, you live life on your terms, and you have no guidance, you have no parents there to discipline you, and you're just like, fucking, oh, memento mori, I live how I want, you're going to die, whatever. And I was like, right, bro, I was like, what am I lacking on right now? What do I need to improve on? And I've always done this. And I think for my whole life, I've always done this once at least. Like, for example, before, I remember when I was insecure about my legs because I had like very skinny legs, unfortunately. I was like, right, motherfucker, I'm going to train the legs like 2-3 times a week. I've got great legs now. Do you know what I mean? I'm like that. I'm like, look at these. But like, what I'm saying is you have to work on things that you're lacking, and if you really can't build things that, obviously, for example, if you really are lacking on certain things that you're just not good at, find someone next to you that can complement those skills that you're lacking. But I think a good exercise for everyone to take today is you need to be better tomorrow than you were today. So the way to do that is try and discipline yourself on something. Work on something every single day, right? For example, my trainers gave me this exercise. So before every workout, I need to do like 5 minutes of rowing. I'm beating my record every single day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I've got to 1,260 meters. Then I'm like 1,263. So like, because I want to beat that, I go so fucking hard on that machine. People are looking at me. I'm like there in the last minute. I'm like, I'm like, do you know what I mean? And they look at, they're like, fucking relax, man. I'm like, but I don't care because I'm there by myself. I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday. And when you put that in your head, and he's like, this is why I'm so addicted to the pull-up bar. And you've seen it every day. I wake up, I'm up at 6. I go around, do around the house. I've spent 30 minutes making a coffee. I told you I got this like £1,200 coffee machine, and it's like a whole barista thing. I'm like, I'm there. I'm like, ask caramel, fucking this. I'm like, steamers, everything's going off. But I fucking wanted that. Zara got it for my birthday. She knows how much I love good coffee, funny enough. And then I go like, and first thing I do, I'm like, boom, as soon as like 7:30 here, I'm like, boom, I'm on that pull-up bar. And I'm like, right, motherfucker, I'm doing another one today on top of what I did yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's hard, don't get me wrong, because I'm like, I'm sitting there, I start getting migraine because I didn't drink enough water. But it's a very good exercise for you to try and be better, and it doesn't matter if someone's better than you down there, it's like you're better than what you were yesterday. And that's fucking important.
But it's a bit, so this is where I think people get stuck. And one thing I think people can take from this is it may seem like a big job to try and change who you are to become the person you want to be. But this whole healing journey is not about these big monumental traumas that you've got to repair and these big forgivenesses. It's like, right, these things that I'm doing aren't serving me. And they've come from a place of where I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. Because I wasn't looking after myself. I wasn't looked after, whatever the thing is. and because I wasn't, I was bullied at school, or I was fat, or this girl broke my heart. Like, we look at all of these things that made who we are, right? And what we have to do is begin to accept the fact that, right, this moment I'm not the person I want to be, but I can step into that person by doing the things that I believe that person would do.
Fucking love that. You're
Every day I get up and I'll go, right, today I don't have to think like people do this thing where they plan out like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I'm like, right, stop this 6-month fucking plan. Today, honor your own fucking wishes and get up at 6. Go to the gym.
Yeah.
Train and then go to work, right? Just start there. Do that for a week. And then the next week, add something else into that. So
it becomes a habit.
And then you have to like, so the whole diet thing, people are like, how do you diet? How do you do this? How do you do that? I'm like, stop looking for the quick thing and focus on the 24-hour window that you've currently got, because you ain't doing it on next Tuesday, right? Today, figure out, today is a day where I will go and I'll walk 12,000 steps. I will eat the food that I need to do and I'll go to the gym. And if I do that for a long enough period of time, I'm going to be shredded.
Bro, you know what? You fucking absolutely nailed it on the head. That's probably genuinely the best way to explain it. Because I've done that, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go on a diet. So you start diet in one go, and tomorrow I'm like, fuck this diet.
Yeah.
You ain't done anything. It's made me feel like shit.
Yeah.
But if you progressively and consistently work slowly towards achieving a goal, you're going to become a monster, because you're going to become more and more obsessed with achieving that goal.
Negotiate. If we as people can't negotiate, we can't stop negotiating with ourselves. Like, oh, I'm going to do this, but then it's like, well, I've had a hard day, so I'm going to have this chocolate bar. And it's like, well,
just there, like,
you have negotiated. The shit part of you has just negotiated with the good part of you, and you've allowed the shit bag to win. So actually, what I'll do to myself is I'll say, right, shit bag. On Sunday, you can come out, and for 3 hours. We will eat what we want. We will do what we want. We'll sit in our pants. We'll watch telly, and you can have a bit of a rest. Yeah. But this week, I'm going to do all my cardio. I'm going to eat all my food. Yeah. I'm going to make this amount of phone calls. I'm going to sit at my desk for this amount of time. I'm going to walk this amount of steps. And just then, and I'll tell you what, I've been in like sub 10% condition. I've been in fat condition. Yeah. I've been in loads of money. I've had no money. I've had nice cars. I've had shit cars. I've had all of the in betweens.
Yeah,
right?
Imbalance, basically. You're like that. You're like, fucking, what do you want from me?
Like, I know that having more of the things that I want, so additional money, additional time, and additional freedom. But the biggest freedom I have ever found is from my self-loathing. Like when you don't honor what you say, and I fell off the diet again, and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, you fat mess, you've ruined it again. Yeah. Or like, you should have done this today and you haven't done it. And every time you lie to yourself, you end up in a position where you don't trust yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't trust yourself, how are you going to execute again anything?
But the problem is, if you don't trust yourself, the person next to you won't trust you either. Like, imagine again, like having a partner or brother or whatever, and you're saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Then you just sat there, still fat, a month later, and you're like, yeah.
And how's that
going? So the problem is this is really bad, because especially for men, and this is the man cave, right? If you have a partner, right, and I know there's a lot of people that go through divorces or go through the fact that their partner's not attracted to them anymore, they lose their partner because we go through the same cycle of just doing stupid shit as men, as we always do. It does happen because you're not making your partner excited anymore, because you're not excited about yourself anymore. It's
the charisma and the energy that you have when you met.
Women are attracted by men. I don't need to define a man. If you don't understand the meaning of a man, then you need to go and look back at yourself and figure out your shit ultimately. But men are leaders. Men are like the savages. That's what we are. We're animals, and we're the only animals that don't want to accept what we are. So that means that we always have to be consistent. We always have to be brutal. We always have to be more savage. We always have to be more than what we are, and we always have to want more, and that also makes your woman, like your partner, attractive. It's like, wow, this is, I'm like, I feel protected, I feel safe. If someone fucking knocks on my door, this man is out in his boxers, on the street like a beast, But that's what you want. So to sit back as a man and be like, life is this, life is that, and it is hard, man. It is
It's a
hard.
challenge. Like, I think the thing that we all as individuals get stuck with, and particularly business owners, because we're trying to develop something, we're trying to build something, we want to create something, right? And when we have that innate that feeling in us, which we're like, we want to do this, and that's challenged by either the outside world or by ourselves, like, I'm not good enough, I don't think I can do it. We admire the people that can overcome those feelings and do it in spite of, like, in spite of the difficulties, and just like the things that I've been through this year. I'm not going to bleat on about them, which I have done a few times, but like, imagine someone
They left a scar, didn't they?
No, but when let's say when someone loses their job, yeah, that's a really difficult situation, yeah.
No, see,
But then, when you lose your job, your car, your home, like all of it at the same time, that's like a big, like you got about 35 plates to spin, and whether it was my fault or not, it's still ridiculously difficult.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
Go.
Because we've been through this, and there's a karmic cycle, right? It's called the karmic cycle.
Yeah.
You get somewhere, then you get back to where you started. What is your karmic cycle? Because you're doing something consistently in your life that brings you back to the start. So it doesn't matter how far you go, you're going to get banged back down there because you haven't learned the first time. So genuinely, why did you end up in the same position at the start of the year, even though you were doing so well?
I know exactly what it is, and I could tell. Like,
well, let's talk about that, because most people complained, "Oh, this is going," but the reality is,
it's my job. It's me. It's me.
But why? What's the real?
The whole reason my life has continued on this cycle is because I gave up who I was. Right? I know who I am. And every time I've got to that realization, like, I want to own a business, I want to do this, I want to be in great shape, and I've done all those things, I end up in a position, because of the society and because of the way that we're conditioned and how difficult it is, I'll go back into a job. Right? When I go back into a job after a period of time, I'm like, this is great, I've got security, I've got money coming in, and after 6 months, my brain is Mr. Entrepreneur. It's like, I want to do something, I want to build something. And then after a while, I start to get to a place where like
let's dig deeper. Why you had a partner? How, like, what happened there? Let's go into that, because now I'm going to ask you some questions, and I don't want to be your consultant, but just same as me, same as you. Like, we're good looking guys. We've never had problems with women, but something always fucks up, and I always think it's the women. But then I look back at myself, and I'm like, bro, like, I would hate me. Like, if I was on the other side of the bench, I'm like, how the fuck am I dealing with this guy? So what happened there?
This is a very complex and difficult situation, because ultimately, like, I had worked incredibly hard to build my relationship back, because we tried, and because I'm a recovered drug addict over the years, like, I found it incredibly difficult to, like, it's difficult for anyone to be in any relationship with me, friendship. Like, because I'm making a mess of my life, and I didn't know why. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't stop doing it. I was doing it every day, and I just couldn't stop. Right. So then, when you become out of that world and you're trying to rebuild yourself, you have no idea who you are. You touched on it earlier. I had no idea who I was. So I'm trying to reestablish myself, and I've got all these traumas and this self-doubt and the shame and the guilt. And you're trying to be in a relationship with someone that innately can't be attracted to you as a human being, because she's lost all respect for who you are. So, and then
because that was such a big fucking part of you, which is scary, because drugs can be such a big part of you, of your character. Then you lose that, then it's almost
who
like,
am I?
See that, but that's honesty there. Most people won't admit to that, but it's fucking sad, because I went through that. A lot of people go through that, and we're not talking heroin here and stuff. We're talking stupid.
I was one step away. Like, that heroin is the only thing I didn't do.
Really?
Yeah, so I did everything. But
you didn't cross that line, because sometimes there's no coming back.
I mean, even when I mean, again, this is a business podcast, and we're sort of venturing into some dark
but
territories. But this is the reality.
From there. It starts somewhere.
I've been sober a very long time now, so, which is a great thing. But when I got into crack, it was like I did crack 3 times, and I remember. Mate, this is a business podcast. I don't know. I've got
mate, like, listen, it's like,
it's the reality.
I've said it the other day, and probably should cut that out, but I said it the other day, right?
Yeah.
There's certain things, and I've realized that with a lot of people kind of bang on about the shit they've done and where they are. So I'd always advise someone, you know what? Don't talk about the worst parts of your life until you are on top of the mountain, because otherwise, if you're still trying to climb up there and you start throwing out all your stuff basically at people and what brought you here, people are not going to believe you deserve to be there, so they're going to start kicking you back down. So the reality is some things you need to keep to yourself when you're on top of the mountain, then use it as an inspiration.
See, I've got a feeling, right? And sometimes I can only ever be me. And being
if you're
me,
honest.
yeah, I can only ever be me. Like the reality of my life is the reality of my life. Like, and people, you don't often need to go out and tell everyone who I am and what I've done and blah blah blah. But at the same
just
time,
someone in the bar, be like, listen, mate, it's like dude, I've been
I was doing crack.
Yeah. Who the fuck this guy? That's my mate. Don't worry, I just sat there.
I've got this distinct feeling though that one of the most important human elements, whether you're a business owner, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're just Joe Blogs from down the pub, is we've all experienced life, right? And sometimes we like to understand who somebody is in order to gain some understanding of what they're about. So like I've fucked up loads of times in my life, but I'm not afraid to be like, I have done those things. I've got nothing to hide. This is who I am now. This is the things I know. This is how I can help you.
By the way, guys, I wouldn't start, like, if you've been through that, I wouldn't start the introduction like that. Like, business. Hi, I'm Liam. I used to do crack. And,
you just don't.
I'm all right now, don't you?
Well, I definitely don't do it now.
Good.
Have some money.
I think, this is actually, it brings me back to something, because we want to give some proper business advice here as well. And obviously, I coach people in real estate, and I've actually given that up now, because there's nothing fucking worse than spending an hour of your day with someone that's not ambitious. Because they suck it out of you. They're like, they just suck the life out of you. So I've stopped doing that. So we're just putting it through as a training program through Crests and so on.
Yeah.
But one thing that I say to people is introduction is massive, right? So for example, let's say we do a Zoom, right? Like we do a Zoom meeting. I've got Zooms with clients. Behind me, most people tend to do that blur thing. You just don't see nothing in the background. So you just end up with my face. Behind me, I'll put like a whole display of everything that I'm interested in. Okay, and this is a fantastic technique for anyone that does meetings online or whatever. And behind me there's a whole, and if you do a Zoom at some point, you'll see it. I've got a whole display of everything that I'm passionate about. Boxing, books that I read. That's very clear. You can see the kind of books that I read and what kind of person I am. All the awards that I've won in real estate, all number ones. I've got a Rolex on there, show luxury. I like that. I've got animals like leopards and stuff. So the reason I do that is because people want to have something in common with the guy. If I'm the guy for real estate, the first thing someone's going to do when they jump on my meeting is look behind me to see if they can find something in common with me. Because I do the same fucking thing when I walk around the client's house and I see a football shirt on, then I'm like, oh, you like Tottenham, do you? Oh, yeah. Do you get what I mean? But you build something in common with
them. It's like some sort of rapport building.
Straight away, within 3 seconds, you grab someone's attention.
I get it. And I think when sometimes you get on a Zoom and then you can see the backdrop's completely not real.
I'm like, where the fuck does this guy live?
Yeah.
Bro, you're right. Like, do you need what do you
need? Got his wardrobe behind him and half his clothes hanging out.
I know, but you can't see it because it's blurred. Do you know what I mean? So it makes you question things straight away. But just have that. It doesn't cost a lot. Just have what you're passionate about, what you love, and then just...
Rolex costs a few quid to
understand. Do you know what? Put something else. Put a watch. Or put anything up there, Put a watch. But I suppose have what you're truly passionate about. Have them on there and just let it do the job for you. And then what I say after that, if the meeting is in person, what I do with every meeting that I have, I take control of the meeting. I walk in the house, for example, and I'm like, hi, really nice to meet you. And they're like, oh, do you want to have a look around? No, let's come and take a seat. So I take control of the meeting. Okay, this is not a technique. This is to show that, I'm here to fucking talk business. Let's talk a seat. And let's take a seat. Then what I'll do, look, so first thing I want to do, thank you for having me over. Yeah. I wanted to introduce myself. Okay, so the first thing I say is I'm the most sought after agent in the UK. Okay, I work with high net worth individuals, footballers, celebrities. I manage the property needs, whether it's buying or selling. Right, I've been on TV. I've been in the Forbes, in the Times. I've sold millions and millions worth of property. Okay, but before that, I was a chef. I was a great chef as well. Do you remember lockdown? So what I do, I showcase my skills very quickly, but not enough to fucking bore them and sound like I'm boasting. But enough to show my client that he's in good hands. I'm not going to waste his time. Okay, so I captured the attention like that. The next thing, I build human connection. I show him that I'm a hard worker. I worked in hospitality. This is not my first business. I've done something else. I've worked hard. then obviously what I do, I bring it back to real estate. So I'll be like, what I've done, I've used all my skill set. I've transferred all the skills from hospitality into real estate. Okay, because I look at every time I deliver a service and I sell a property, I look at it as a dish. It needs to be the same as the last one, you know. But I just wanted to introduce myself a bit. Then who are you? Who am I talking to? If you don't mind me asking, then I let them talk. In most cases, when I introduce myself like that, but when I come in so strong about the fact that I manage high net worth individuals already, you know, I'm already working with people up here. I'm already trusted by people up here. That makes them instantly want to have something in common with me. You won't believe how many people say to me like, "Oh, I cook at home. Oh, I've done a bit of cooking. I love cooking." Or they bring something they have in common with you, and boom, you just build a relationship. From then on, the rest of the conversation and the pitch what I have to offer, it's already has a lot of value because I've already managed to build something in common with them. So I'll urge anyone that listens to this podcast, tell people in short who you are, introduce yourself, control the conversation at the meeting first, introduce yourself. Don't fucking make it long, all right? Just bring your life, compress your life, all right? For best bits if you can, make it emotional, make it have some sort of a happy ending, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And the conversation from then on, I don't walk into one meeting now where I don't close the contract at 2.5%. And it's the highest fee in the UK. People are like, you can't get 2.5% in Sussex. Motherfucker, I just got 2.5% plus marketing and plus an extra 10% incentive if I sell above the asking price. So there's belief systems, you know, but
it's competency. You can charge what you want when you're as skilled as you are.
Well, when you've just made friends with someone, you can charge what you need to charge.
And the thing is like I've been in sales and communication for a very, very long time, and I've dealt with a lot of business owners, but I've also dealt with a lot of like retail, like car sales, motorbike sales. I've done, you know, everything I've done has compounded in my understanding of how to build relationships. And one thing, arguably, I enjoy the most is actually just getting to know someone. So when I go into a sales environment, I always, and I love doing it, is like, I want to get to know that person. Like, what's your business about? How do you actually want your business to look? Where do you want to take it? Not like, you know, well, we can do this, this, and this. It's like, I don't care about what I can do for you just now, right? I want to know if actually what I can do can even help you. So tell me about your business. Tell me why you're in business. Tell me where you've got something. Like, I don't want to know about, like, it's a disingenuous thing where it's like, oh, the weather this weekend, and tell me about your kids. But to me, it's like, look, I'm a dad, you're a dad. Like, there's a terrain for us to talk.
I suppose those conversations happen when we actually
as you build a relationship.
And I was just like, oh, I was your kids. Fuck your kids, man. I was like, we need to find out what is it. And I think one of the best things I've learned in business, and I'm not saying a bad way, but I mean, like, that's not what you need to talk about, you know, because one thing I've learned in business, especially working with high net worth individuals, right? There has to be value there, otherwise it ends up in wasting time.
Yeah,
okay? You have to respect each other's time. You have to respect that person's time, your client's time.
Yeah.
They have to respect your time, okay? Because otherwise you're going to need to figure out very quickly.
Well, you put yourself on a low status.
How are you going to get my 15 minutes back? You know, how are you going to get my 15 minutes back? Because you wasted my time now. You know, sometimes you need to remember, I drive 2-3 hours to a property across the country. And if I haven't qualified that client correctly to begin with, I could be driving 6 hours on my day for absolutely nothing, you know. So the conversations happen way before that. So exactly what you said. First of all, can I even help the person before I go?
Can I help you? Like, before we go into this, like, if we're business owners or we're people that are like, the reason we're talking is inherently there's something I can do for you that will either solve a problem, you believe that I could solve a problem, or maybe you don't even know. But I'm not going to sit here and start talking about you and your kids until we've understood what we're trying to do together. But then after that, we'll build a I love building relationships. So, like, it's time appropriate. Like, okay, so we know now we can work together.
Yeah.
Now we can build a friendship. Yeah, because a lot of my clients that I worked with and I have worked with, I'm still in touch with them. Like, I'll get messages from them. I'll ring them up. We have a good chinwag. We have a laugh.
You're in a business where I suppose it's a repeat business as well. So you have to farm clients. But I think one good thing you said that is when you build a good relationship with a lot of the people that I work with, they give me advice. They'll tell me, oh man, it's like, you know, you done that thing, you could change it around. I work with billionaires. I work with managing directors for car companies. and they'll tell me how to retain my own agents, how to keep my agents, not forced, but how to actually offer them something that won't let them leave. Also, can I sit like that on camera, or can everyone see it?
Yeah, we can see
Because
that.
I see better people say, "Can you sit like that, please, mate?" So we look like we do business. Okay?
Or in some sort of cult.
I know. If I like, honestly, if I see any more guys, stop doing this. Okay, just stop doing it. No one gives a fuck. You're not in a cult. You're not in the Illuminati. You're just stop it.
Stop it.
Just fucking stop it.
So I think at the moment, you know, I've got one last question I'd really like
Can
to
I ask you one quickly?
Yeah, go for it.
What's like, I think from all your experiences, what do you think is the best business advice you could give someone? Like, if they just want to get into business, what's the best thing you've learned about business?
Well, so there's two caveats to that. So the first one is I've had and run a few businesses in my past and they have failed, right? Because I was doing it all on my own and I didn't really understand what was going on. I was trying my hardest, but my intentions were like, I need to earn money, I want to build a business and blah, 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 right? So intent is one thing. For me, my intent with my business is to deliver the very best service I can without sounding cheesy, but like, if you've got a problem that you need solving, I will get that solved. I'm not going to be the one to do the deal, but I've got the exact person in that industry that will fix that problem for you, right? To the highest competence. So my intent is one thing. The second is business partners, right? So my business partner, he's just sold his insurance company. He's doing so well in his life, and he is where I want to end up.
Good.
So he's the finance director. I'm the ops.
Right.
Director,
Okay.
I ring him all the time, and we joke about.
So he mentors you. So he's like
a mentor to me, and like every person we speak to about this business, we get such great feedback because it's such a good quality business. Because we're not trying to take from anyone. We're just trying to, like, the brokers get a good service, and the clients get
just
a good
match
service.
people with the right
product. We match people. We match people through trying to understand how a business, what they actually want to achieve in the next 12 months. Because most business owners come to,
I just need money, bro.
but here's the thing, right? Most business owners that are in the market for money are being marketed to because they're actively looking.
Yeah.
So they're being marketed to. So there's 3% of the market that are looking for funding right now.
Yeah.
Half of those people need funding because they're falling behind.
Yeah.
Which is harder to get funding for.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody's arm wrestling for the same thing.
They want to expand, and that's easier to go.
The people that want to expand, the people that want to grow and develop their business because they're in a position to do that, are the people that aren't being marketed to because they're not looking at the moment.
Yeah.
They're thinking about it. But the people that are desperate and are looking now.
That makes perfect sense. I get it.
So there's 97% of the market that aren't.
So if I wanted to expand right now, but in all fairness, I'll tell you a cool story actually. We've been approached when we've launched. We've been approached by a very wealthy individual from London that we still work very closely to now.
Yeah.
And because remember, we went through a very hard period of time from January to March. We were like fucking broke, And now on launch, we've just been approached by someone, and they're willing to invest in the company, you know. And we went for a really attractive sum, over like. What is it, 6 digits over, like, nice anyways.
Yeah, good.
And we're like, we could do this, we could do that, we could do this, and what happened is like, yeah, perfect, I'm gonna send it to my trustees or whatever, and they'll start the process. And we were prepared to give a part of our company away, but it just showed how much someone believed in us, which for us was like, fucking come on, we got this. And then the trustees came back, and they're asking all these questions, all right? And I sat there, me and Zara, we looked at each other, and I was like, bro, fuck this. I was like, how comes is it that these guys are protecting their clients' investment so much, and we're not protecting the business that we just went through fucking blood, sweat, and tears to build? We're just giving it away after what we just been through. So we emailed the guy straight away, and he was like, look, thank you very much for your interest, but we want to pull our offer away. And we pulled our offer. And it's like we've always been protected. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, can I just, because I've come from that world, like, I would always say to a business owner, use debt over equity, because equity, you're never ever stopping paying a percentage of your business out.
Yeah.
But when you use debt, you can clear that early, you can pay that across the term, and you've only ever given out a set amount. So we always look at interest as like a
so this is
fee.
this is sorry, because we've got time, because let's talk about this, because I think you do go an hour.
Taylor, we're all right,
Well, we're good, yeah?
How long we got?
About 20, 30 minutes.
Perfect. So look, so let's say, because there's a lot of people out there that start new businesses and they don't understand about this. Personally, I didn't understand about this a little while ago, right? So you got a business. What would you recommend to someone with a small business? Would you recommend they find an investor and give away a share of their business, or would you recommend that?
It depends. So let's say your business is in real estate.
Yeah.
And you wanted somebody came to you and they have come from that world and they've succeeded massively. And they said, we'll give you X for this. Like, let's say we'll give you 100 grand for 10% of your business.
Yeah.
15% of your business. Yeah. But what we'll do is we will do this, this, and this for you to help you grow.
Yeah.
That to me is a worthwhile.
Do you think? But what if that person takes over your business and starts telling you what the fuck to do?
No, you set them in terms. You set them in terms. Like if you've got 15, they've got 50. They've got rights. They've only got 15%. Yeah, and also you set out a plan as to what you're doing with the capital. So this 100 grand we're going to be spending on this, this, and this, with a potential for these returns, right? So those people know the game. It's their risk. They'll put the money in, and they've got to trust you to do what they're going to do.
Yeah,
and they're going to assist you.
Would you do that if
so
you had the opportunity?
Yeah. So
if I
had, but this is the thing. Like if you've got a business that's been running for 2 years or longer, and it's turning over a certain figure, and then somebody comes in and tries to give you an offer, unless they're adding value to your proposition, there's no point.
Yeah,
you would take debt over equity, because debt is a lender going, yeah, here's some money. Yeah, you can pay this off early. There's no fees, no settlement, right? You can then pay them off, and you still have 100% of your business. So you've leveraged someone else's money and turned that into more money.
Yeah, but massive. Yeah.
So that's one. Well, that's a really good factor to sort of consider. But also, like in the whole pursuit of growing a business, and I think this is important to sort of mention. Like a lot of business owners, right, aren't thinking about their long-term future. But if they pose themselves one question: if I gave you 200 grand today, yeah, as a business owner, if I give you 200 grand as an entrepreneur, if I give you 200 grand, what could you do with that money?
If you ask me,
just any, like, if this is the question, I think
tell you straight away, I will do with that.
Yeah,
I will put that in fucking marketing, brand awareness. I will get the brand in front of every motherfucker that's interested in real estate. They'll be like everywhere. Like my face will be on posters, on the fucking buses. The best advice I could give everyone in business is focus on your personal brand, because that will last forever. You know, a good personal brand will last forever. It's like, even if your business goes to shit, you still have a skill to work with your fucking face. So your face doesn't go away. Your business might, but your face will remain. Yeah. And I think for me, the most successful part, because remember, I had to start this business twice from cold. The first time I got into real estate, was from cold. When I left that brokerage, I had to start from cold again.
Yeah, because you can't touch any of your old clients.
Exactly. So it shows you how strong a personal brand is. The other part I would say is prioritize networking.
So this is the thing, right? So my business partner is heavy on the networking side. I'm heavy on the personal brand side. And like, for me, like, I think there's so many unspoken things about the funding and finance world that business owners don't know about or aren't even considering, because, you know, when we go into property development, they always use the bank's money, the buy-to-let mortgage thing. They're always doing that. They're always leveraging the bank's money.
It's never your money.
It's never your money, but they're always willing to use the bank's money, right, to make more money. And they look at it as a low leverage. But when they look at like a business loan, they go, oh, the rate's high, or this is this and this is that. You go, well, if I gave you 100K, could you turn that into 500K? And does that make the interest worth paying?
Oh yeah, because it's only it's just the 8% from the 100K. You know,
this is the most beautiful thing. Even if it was a 20% APR, right? If I gave you 200K, and you had to pay back 400, right? But you added 150K in turnover to your business every quarter, or every 6 months, or every year. That's turnover indefinitely. So you've taken a risk. Your monthly, as long as you can stomach
But
the
I think
monthly payments, it's
the
worth
problem
doing.
is people know that the business won't be able to operate that. So it goes back to most people are scared of taking risks, you know.
And
They're
as
like, I don't
entrepreneurs,
feel-
it surprises me that entrepreneurs, like, I closed a deal with this guy, right? He rang me up and he was like, I want 50K. And I said, what's the 50K for? And we went through this
Just want
process.
fucking 50K, bro.
Yeah, I
Right?
just want
Stop
50K,
asking
bro.
questions.
Yeah, the bounce back line. That's what
Asking
everyone
questions, dickhead. Just give me the 50K, all right?
No, so we went through his process, and he was worried about the interest, and he was worried about this and that, and I just had to explain to him. I was like, look, you know,
Do you want 50K or not?
no, but
mate?
it's no, but like, look, can your business stomach the monthly payment? Yes, it can. If I give you 50K right now, he ended up taking 75. If I give you 75K right now, what could you do? 2 weeks later, after all his worrying, I said to him, once you've signed the paperwork, the decision then is, what do I do with the 75K? Not, or what about this? What about that? Like, once we've signed this, you're now in the exercise of being an entrepreneur, not a decision maker. So once the 75 grand was in his bank, he rang me 2 weeks later. He was like, I just bought another taxi firm for 24 grand.
Yeah.
I was like, how many cars is that? And he was like, well, it pays the monthly payment. So I was like, and you've still got 52 grand left. And he was like, yeah. So I was
So what are you
like,
going to do with the other 52 grand?
so then it's, do you know what I mean? It's like,
it makes
these
you
are-
think, because you have
they're cash flowing
perfect example,
exercises.
yeah, because you have to make sure that that money with the interest is getting paid back, you know. So figure that out first.
But it's just the month. We think about the total figure, right? But it's over 6 years. So the monthly repayment is what you've got to factor in. If you're turning over 50 a month and you've got a 2 grand payments coming out,
Oh, no,
you've
yeah,
got
then-
48K left to do your other things. But you've also taken 100K. You've got 100 grand.
Yeah.
To
No,
go
exactly.
about your business. And if I said to you, I'll get you 100 grand now, you'll put 50K on marketing and fucking podcasts and whatever else, getting your brand out there. You've still got another 50K to do loads of other activities, CRM systems, fucking this, that, and the other. Right?
Of
You
course,
build
absolutely.
out the functionality of the business.
Oh yeah,
So-
massively.
So what is stopping a lot of business owners from really taking a bigger portion of the market is
I don't
fear
think a
and
lot of
capital.
business. Yeah, of course, a lot of business owners. I think that they're very safe. A lot of business owners are very old school and they only work with their own capital. You know, so I think this is more of a new thing. You know, where people understand that debt is actually good. You know, because
Robert
you're not-
Kiyosaki talks about it all the
Yeah,
time.
you're
He's like,
not-
I'm a multi-billionaire. He's like, I've got billions in assets, but I'm millions of debt.
Yeah, millions of debt.
You
because
leverage other
that's how
people's
they buy.
money.
But I think, and it's fucking tax free. Let's not forget.
Well, debt is a scary thing because people consider debt to be credit card debt or personal loans, right? But when you're in a business and you do unless you're in recovery
Yeah, but
mode,
that loan is tax free.
that loan is tax free.
Exactly.
But it's tax free. Like, but the tax that's different in the US law, because what they'll do is they take shares of their company, and then they get a loan against that,
Yeah.
and then that's where they pay.
But no, so the loan, for example, if you gave finance to a company, that's not taxable, surely.
It's not taxable, but they can't draw that into their personal bank.
No, that's fine, yeah, but for the business. But I mean, for a business, and if you get a good accountant, you can pay for pretty much everything with your business. You know, that's the reality. Like, it's clients entertaining, home office, car, clothes, clothing, this suit. You know who paid for this? The Queen. Right? Or the king, sorry, the king. I do apologize. But it's work clothing. So
good accountants are hard, mate. Good accountants are hard to come by because
I've got a fantastic guy, but at the same time, I recommend this: do not get an accountant until you're making fucking money. Most people think like, right, I got a business idea. I'm gonna set up the limited company. I'm gonna fucking call the accountant, build a website. But where's your money? How are we making money?
Yeah.
How much money have you made in? I won't even fucking do. I'll be honest with you, and I'm saying this on live to everyone. I will not even register a limited company until I've made 100 grand.
Really?
I'm not even.
Well, sole trader, isn't it?
Exactly. I will not register a limited company. No one would even know that money's came, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna make the 100 grand. Maybe next year you're not gonna do fuck all, and then you're gonna have to pay tax on the extra 20 grand you've made anyway. So just shut your mouth. Do what you're doing. If the business goes and next year you made another 200 grand, then build your limited company, get yourself an accountant, but make sure that money's coming in. Maybe what I'm teaching you here is a bit dodgy and stuff, but ultimately, like, you cannot start registering businesses against your name if you're not making fucking money.
I think the entity itself, like, this is where the criteria sort of comes in, like, because if you've got a plan for your business and you know that what you do is a viable model, so like your business and my business is like, it's a sideways move. you know that selling high-end real estate is something you can do, and you've done to a high level. Yeah. So your personal brand exists, you move across, you then start earning. So you can stay as a sole trader until you've earned X amount of money, and that money can then be deployed. And then you go, right, I can start my limited company.
Limited,
yeah, you can do whatever.
Michael Jordan Limited.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
you
can
know
do
what I mean?
whatever.
It's irrelevant.
So for me now, what like we've got our limited company. Our limited company is set up in such a way. So we have our revenue sources. Those revenue sources are then measured against our books. So when I go to a lender or two in a few years' time, we need to get an office. We need to, because I'll always use somebody else's money to grow and develop my business,
course,
because
yeah.
I'm in that industry. I understand it. You know, the brokerages I've worked for, we all use it because it's like, oh, I've got to do an office refit. Well, why would I use my money?
Exactly.
If I've got to do an office refit, I've got to kit out an entire new office with everything. I'll use somebody else's money, make it bigger, employ more staff, they'll earn more money, and then...
Very good question, actually. So let's say, for example, the company doesn't work out. The guys just took out a 50 grand finance, the one we just spoken about, and his company goes bust. What happens with that? Is he going to be liable? Is the company liable?
So it all depends, because let's say to get 50k, you have to qualify for 50k.
All right, so you have to pass your own credit check.
You've got to have your personal credit check.
Yeah.
You've got to be a homeowner. You've got to be of good financial standing in your own name.
You got to be a good fucking human being, basically.
You've got to stack up, because it's 50 bags. If you're getting 200 bags for someone, like finding a client that can get 200 bags is hard.
Yeah.
Because people want 200 grand, but like you don't qualify.
No, I know it. I had mentees that couldn't pass a credit check for 3 grand a month.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's like a grand a month, things like that. So it is, but no, completely.
But as a marketplace, it's very difficult to understand, because it's not like the conventional credit. You don't go on and fucking compare the market, look for a credit card, get a yes or a no. There's 95 lenders. The reason a broker has a job is they will look at your criteria, they'll look at your bank statements, they'll look at your accounts, and they'll say, that lender will do this. Or if not, I can maybe do 50k here and 75 there.
Yeah.
But I can get you the money. Now, does this work? And then that's what a good broker will do. But a lot of brokers these days, and like, again, and I've done this in the past, it's like, you know, a good a broker that is just trying to get the commission out of the deal will literally just get the information, just ping it out to every lender and see which one says yes.
Yeah.
With no attempt to explain the quality of the business, what the plan is with the money, what this and that is like. There's auto-approve systems.
Yeah.
They'll put it in and they'll get a decline. They're locked out for 6 months. But if you adequately explain, this is the business, this is their equity, this is how they're going to afford the payments, this is how they're going to do this is why they're doing it, please see this and this, like the underwriter will look at it and go, yeah, sweet, we'll do this. But if you just put in the one page, like turns over this, does this, like they're going to go, there's no information.
No, of course, I suppose it's the same with a mortgage and everything else. And
that's why mortgage brokers have a job. Otherwise, you just go to the bank yourself.
Of course.
Yeah, that they you know.
It is, but even
that's why you have a job.
Even with mortgage brokers, mate, it's deadly sometimes. You know?
Yeah, because they don't know the professionalism. You. This isn't talking bad about any industry. No broker is a bad broker, in my opinion, right? But there are competent brokers that I would suggest that if you can find one, utilize them, because they will do the deal for you the way you need it. If you don't get a good quality broker, you're going to get the doors locked and all these.
I get that, but you know what? I've got this thing. I fucking hate working with boring people, mate. I don't care what industry you're in. If you're boring, like I don't care if you're the best. If you're like I'm like that, I'm like I don't like it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? But what you tend to find very quickly is that boring people are not very successful. Like, even though you might feel like they're not, but they're not actually boring. They're either very clever or something. But most people that work in a face-to-face in a face-to-face environment, they're not boring people. They're people with a character and a personality. People that act on a genuine page, and they can relate to other people.
Yeah,
you know. So when you're working in this type of services, if you are that dull person, if you are like just there, you know, if you just exist. It's probably best that you find something like in the back office, you know, because like the face-to-face people in this type of service industries, where it's face-to-face, the only people that tend to come out on top are the ones with a personality that are not afraid to put themselves there.
I mean, you got to have the personality along with the skills, and like those two combinations are difficult. It's like the top 1% of men, like to be in the 1% of men, you've got to earn 100. You got to be over 6 foot. You've got to earn over 100 grand. You've got to be
Yeah.
good looking. You've
Okay.
got to be. You got a good.
Jeez, I'm
Yeah.
smacking it. I'm a fucking 0.05%. Okay, then come on. Anything
But they
else?
like it's like all of these things, yeah, that factor into like
Yeah,
a
but what
high
if
value
you're right?
man.
So what if you go right? What if you go like this? If you have over 100 grand,
Yeah.
if you have 4 kids, if you have a partner that loves you, I'm fucking in the 0.001%, right?
Exactly. So, but what?
Really?
What? Yeah.
Fucking, I'm out. Finish this. I'm done. Man. I need to pay me for this podcast moving for fuck. Really?
Well, like,
Because like it's
right. So, like, there's
Shit.
statistics. Like, so even if you've got hair, to be in the top
And I've got
1%,
long hair. Fuck
you've
it.
got to have hair. You've got to be good looking. You've got to earn over 100 grand. You've got to have charisma, personality. Here it comes. It gets the main out.
Oh, right. So what we're saying, guys. So what Liam is basically saying, guys, is that we are in the top 0.01%,
what-
meaning that I am.
What I'm
I'm
saying,
a god. I'm a
Jesus.
fucking god.
We have ended. We're going to end this podcast.
Do not end this
here.
podcast. It's just getting better.
Right,
Trust-
ladies and gentlemen, I brought Moses onto the
And
show.
I'm tattooed, full of muscles. This business owner, father of 4, in a partnership.
What a winner.